All right. We're going with Bruce Lee or Chuck Norris.
I'll probably go Chuck Norris. Heard some small stories about Bruce Lee, not like just only doing like other stuff, but Chuck Norris actually going in the tournaments and actually fighting. So Chuck Norris.
The feeling of seeing like a body just like drop cold in the mat, it's beautiful. It's just you applying the technique and seeing that it's just one touch. It's just 1 second and the body just drops cold and the person cannot move,
Everybody says, you get your top 5 athletes out there, on a basketball team. You got Barkley, you got Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, all that. Who's your top 5 fighters you walk into anywhere, ain't nobody fucking with, you guys knocking everybody out?
Shit, I got Francis Ngannou. I got Izzy. I got Demetrius Johnson. And I got Kamaru Usman. Oh, I got one more?
No, you included. So
Nikes or Jordans?
I'll go with Jordans all day. I'm rocking some right now, bro.
What you got on? Let's see real quick, man. You got the 13s on? What you got, bro, man? Let's see. He walking into the gym. Retro 5.
Yeah, OG, white cement. Take us into the locker room with you. So when you're walking out of there and your name's being announced, what's going through your mind? Are you?
Yes, y'all. You're now rocking with the best MMA locker room, Pub Sports Radio. After rest out, we the best out. Hey, I just want to welcome everybody, man. We got a special guest backstage, coming in for another exclusive episode 2 of Millz, Capping with the Capper. I got a special guest backstage, but before we get into that, man, hope everybody had a good weekend, a good day. Any day above ground seems like a good day nowadays, man. Last week, we went on a good little spree, 3-1 on our picks and plays. Oh my gosh, my bad. This ain't the time for that. But man, who'd you guys really think won, man? Holly Holm or Caitlin Vieira? Who? It don't matter, man. You win some, you lose some, man. I lost that one. I'm not gonna say it's a robbery. I'm just gonna say that she lost the fight. We'll leave it at that. But my girl, Baby Shark, she came out and did her thing. Went in there, swam with the Sharks. My man, Michael Pereira. That fight could have went either way. These are some of the entertaining fights that I remember on the card, man. Hopefully everybody cashed out there. My man Clint, Diehard MMA, man. He had a big ticket, man. Shout out to him, man. He had Chase Hooper at plus money just by itself. He had Chase Hooper in round 3. He had Chase Hooper to win by TKO. I mean, the list goes on. And then he also had some other stuff parlayed with that. Also made it to the big leagues, I think. He got his ticket card out on the MMA show, MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani and Connor Burks. So shout out to Clint, man. He definitely had a good week out there, man. So, hopefully everybody else in the chat had a good week too, man. So I'm going to just get into it, man. We got a special guest backstage. The person that I'm going to be bringing on, some might know who he is, some might not, but that's what you got me here for, man. So we're going to be capping the capper. He had a great week too last week. I want to say he's up like, I want to say like 28 units or plus 40 or something like that, man. We'll get into the numbers and stats, man, and everything like that, man. But before we get into it, man, I'm going to just go ahead and introduce him, man. I got my man Connor Burks backstage. That's the producer right now with the MMA Hour that you see, the hottest MMA show out there in the world. And, let's go ahead and bring him in, Cap with the Capper.
Millz was good, man. I appreciate you having me on. That intro, bro. Rafion Stotts, you got Adrian Yanez. I feel honored to be in the same seat that they were in.
Oh, appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's all about, giving it a different look sometimes. You mention those names, but, they can only go so far. Sometimes it's about the people behind the scenes that don't get seen too, So that's what I like about this right now, So we're going to be picking your brain on everything that it takes, to become a successful capper that you think out there. And, some other things MMA related too, because you got a lot going on right now as well on your plate.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm looking forward to it. You mentioned, You mentioned Clint last weekend, bro. I love giving him a shout out. He went crazy with the Chase Super plays. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to being here and getting to talk to you for a minute.
Yeah, man. All right, so let's just make some. I always like to do a little time frame. Right now, I'm on Cali time. It's 4:16. My time. I'm located in Lake Elsinore. You don't got to say you're resided, but where's your timestamp at right now, Connor?
Yeah, brother, you should have told me you were on Pacific time. I'm over on Eastern time, so it's 7:16. I just had dinner in New York City. I'm chilling, man.
Got it. New York life, man. Everything's so fast in a New York minute, right?
Yeah, man, you got the Yankees hat on. I see you.
You know how it goes, man. Die hard, man. 27 championships. You know, couldn't teach this stuff. All right, man. So let's get into it, man, real quick. All right, so Connor Burks, man. Let's get into it last week real quick. Let's just go over some of the plays that you had, you know, that actually made you profitable as your week went, because you know we're shouting out Clint too, but I mean, hey, man, you had some good plays and some good positive units out there. So let's go over some of the units that you actually cashed in on last week.
Yeah, man. So I'm not like Clint. I don't really do too many like plus 1100s, plus 4,000 type plays. I'm typically just like the slow grind. You know, I'll take the chalk if I have to. I'll take the small underdogs and sort of work my way up from there. You know, maybe 2 legs, maybe 3 if I'm feeling fancy on a parlay. But last week, yeah, man, I actually don't even have the card up right now. But Joseph Holmes inside the distance. There was a line sitting on Caesars for about 48 hours at plus 250. Tweeted that out. I hope as many people S110. That was a nice hit. Hit some prop.
So that was
parlays.
Caesar's. That was a book not getting the number right on that bet
Yes.
right there, right?
Yeah, bro. And I tried to alert people on Twitter to it. A couple of people took it with me, and they did honor the bet. They cashed it out. So I mean, there's nothing better than that, man. I've seen that happen a couple of times before, where a book makes a mistake like that. So, and he made it look easy, man. I mean, I also had him fight doesn't go the distance in a parlay as well. So I mean, that fight, I was going crazy when that happened. I started out the night 5-0 on singles all the way up until Ponzinibbio. I rode with Ariel on his dog of the week, lose the split decision. Then we go to Holly Holm, lose that split decision there too. So nice start to the night. Ended kind of rough with the back-to-back split decision losses, but I ended up like up 7 units on the week. Got me to like 28 on the year, 40 all time since I started the show back in September.
Man, those is nice numbers right there. Yeah, man, you went 5-2 on your singles, went 3-0 on your parlays. You know, like you said, up 40 plus units total. You know, so far. One thing that I like though, I had some of the fighters as you, and the thing that I like about it is you got the lines early. I want to say you had Chitty at like a minus 190, and that's what he opened up on my book. Man, he closed at like a minus 340. And the smart thing is that, you know, he looked everything as of it, you know, and you got him at an early line. Same thing I kind of did with Jonathan Martinez. I got him at like a minus 190, and he closed at like a minus 240, minus 250. So sometimes I'm not scared at going at that money line price. You know, they look at a minus 180, minus 190, and some guys think of it as it's too juice, but I kind of tell them in MMA, that's a good line. That's a good number if you're like 90% confident in that fighter. What do you think about that?
Yeah, man, if you're feeling good on it, I'm not afraid to play chalk. I know a lot of people call them like chalk donkeys, you know, the anti-value boys and everything like that. I don't mind it at all if I like it. I was right there with you on Jonathan Martinez. I had him right around that area, minus 190, minus 180. And him and Cheaty made it look easy. As far as getting the lines early, though, if you're going to bet on MMA every week, go on Twitter, follow Best Fight Odds, follow fightodds.io, and turn on the notifications, because they will, if you turn on the notifications, you'll get the notification right on your phone, and it'll tell you as soon as the line drops. And if you know who you want on a side and you know that line's going to move, I always try to hit it early if I can.
Man, speaking of that, hey, man, I kind of do the same, man. I try to tell my people right when that line comes out, I usually put, you know, certain amount of money on it, maybe a quarter unit, maybe a half unit, just because I want to get it at that best line, you know. And sometimes, you know, I might be on the wrong side, but a lot of times I'm on the better side, you know, to where it's like, all right, you know, I got it at this minus 140. Now it's closing at a minus 155, minus 160. That's when you can put a little bit more money on it, you know. And I look at it and I'm like, all right, you know, I'm not too mad about that. Like one fight I look at was that Tracy Cortez fight that came out, and she was like a minus 170. I knew people was going to be betting the other side just because of the way that Gatto looked and everything like that coming off that Sarge Eubanks. but I still played it at minus 170. But I was so confident, man, that thing dropped to minus 130 and I doubled up on it again, so it's kind of one of those things to where I'm like, all right, like I'm not too mad, because I got it at that price, but like it went lower and, got it again for that number though. But yeah, man, sometimes those confident bets, lay the money on them, get the win. I always tell people a win is a win. How do you feel about this? Because I noticed something on the show recently that you were saying with your boy New York Rick. You said something about, like I actually bet it, like the picks or something like that. Like, do you feel like there's a lot of people out there just like, making MMA bets to unit count and actually ain't making those own bets for themselves? Or are you actually a guy that, prefers to, do the opposite? Like, are you making those bets or are you just giving them out to stack up the units and stuff like that?
Oh no, I mean, if like I would prefer that someone who's going to give an input on it is going to be making the bets as well. That's kind of why I'll throw shade sometimes. If you see me putting a pick out, I have placed that bet and I have the ticket for it. I mean, sometimes people will like come after me about lines, like especially if it's a line that's moved a lot and they're not really familiar with the show or anything. They'll kind of come in my neck and be like, "Man, this is a fake line." I always have the ticket waiting. I mean, I continue to bat 1,000 for having the ticket. Like I've never lied about a line. There's no benefit to lying about a line for me. It would just be lying to myself. And like, whenever anyone wants to see a ticket, I am happy to provide it for them because I mean, I obviously like I do the graphics, kind of spruce it up a little bit. So it's not just me dropping like 15 tickets on a giant piece of paper or something like that. I spruce it up with the graphics, but if people want tickets, I'm happy to give it to them anytime. So in my opinion, if you're going to be giving out betting advice, if you're going to be giving out betting picks, you should be taking the picks as well.
I'm with you 100%, man. That's why I tell people all the time, like my bets that I give out, they're not the best bets. They're not the, hey, this is 100% locked. This is the bet that I'm betting and I'm confident in. You know what I mean? I'm going to make some money off it, hopefully. And this is how, and I'm showing you this is how, and I'll put it out there. A lot of bets that I do, random. I do round 3 to start. And a lot of books don't have that, so I go for round 3 to start. And how I look at it is just any fight just has to last 10 minutes, and I get it at good lines. A lot of times, sometimes it's juice, but I'll still play it. I'm real confident at those though, and it's one of those to where a lot of people ask me and they're like, well, where's that at? I only have over 2.5 or under 2.5. Put that ticket out. They see that round 3 to start and they're like, oh, wow. So like you said, the receipts is there and the tickets is there. And I believe it just like you. If you're putting those bets out there and telling people this is what you should bet, you should definitely be betting it with them, man, as well.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It takes away from the advice that you're giving out, and I side with you on that one. I know this is you're interviewing the cappers and everything. I actually prefer not even to call myself a capper. I produce the show and I give out the bets that I'm taking on the show as well. And like someone hit me up on Twitter and was like, oh, this price closed differently than you had it out there, even though I took it on like Thursday or something and gave it out when I took it. And he was like, are you doing this to help people or just like rack up units and just track your bets? And I was like, I mean, a little bit of both, man. Like we're tracking all the bets. I hope that I help people. I hope that people cash on some of these bets. But at the end of the day, these are the bets that I have. I'm obviously not charging anyone anything for them. Do with that information what you want to do. Hopefully it helps you.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. Like you said, it's called Cap the Capper, but we're going to give you some respect on that, because you've been doing your numbers and everything like that. And you probably got the hardest job as, a sports gambler in MMA. Why? Because you're on the biggest MMA show giving out betting advices for free. So no matter what, if they win or lose or draw, everybody's going to remember your face, so you got these other MMA prediction people out there on YouTube and stuff, thousands of views on their videos and fans and everything like that. But you're out there every single week, with it. So, you definitely, you're wearing that title too, but let's talk about the production. Cause, that's one thing that I like a lot, man. So let's talk about how you started off, cause I was looking through some stuff and, you didn't always start off behind the scenes. You know, I seen you on the microphone, you know, calling some like college football games play by play. I did the same in college myself, you know, color commentary and stuff like that. So I seen you had a little Jones for that and stuff like that. And for the people that don't know, you were actually working at ESPN before you got with Ariel Helwani. So now the floor is yours, because a lot of people, I'll be honest, they don't know who you are, you know. So
of course they don't. Yeah, no.
and me, I'm like, this is what it's all about to me. This is like me interviewing an LFA fighter, you know, before he gets to the UFC, before he gets to Bellator. You know, I'm more like, okay, now I got this guy now. You know, once he blows up, you guys are gonna see, man. I interviewed Quentin Tarantino before he was Quentin. You know what I mean? So you know.
I don't know about all that. I appreciate the love, man, for real. But yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. I went to the University of Georgia, grew up my whole life in Georgia there, majored in broadcast journalism. And the things that you saw was classes that they offered where each week we would go and we would call a high school football game. You got to try every different role, production, on air. You did the sideline reporting. You did the color commentating. You did the studio show hosting. You pretty much got everything. It was a fantastic experience. And then I also interned at some local radio stations in Atlanta. And that's where I actually originally fell in love with like the production, the on-air process, everything like that. So I spent a whole summer doing that. It was the official radio station of the Braves. Shout out to 680 The Fan. Went there, stayed there for 3 months. It was a fantastic time. I actually decided that I fell in love with radio at that point. I just liked the casual flow of it. I liked the fact that the producers got to get on air. You got to chop it up with the hosts. I just really enjoyed it. So post-college, I started applying. Position opened up at ESPN Radio. I was like, wow, this is perfect. Ended up not getting it at first. They're like, yeah, we'll keep your number on file, man. I'm like, okay, sure. Yeah, I've heard this one before. I'm chilling in Minnesota, about to catch a flight back there for a different job interview. Get a call from a Bristol, Connecticut number. It's ESPN. They're like, we'd like to fly you out. Yada, yada, yada. Interview ends up going great. They hire me. I work at ESPN Radio for 3 years. Fantastic experience. But it was long hours, long nights, rough pay. But the experience I gained from that, I can't even quantify it. It was fantastic. Getting my feet wet, the connections that I made, which one of the connections was Ariel Helwani. He dipped to go back to do the MMA hour from ESPN. I was looking for a new job. He poached me off, and things just worked out perfectly. I got a lot of luck. I'm super blessed to be in the position that I'm in, but it's been a wild ride, man. It's been a lot of fun.
Man, that's every broadcaster's dream right there, man. For real, right there. So when you said like you applied for the ESPN and you didn't get it the first time, like what did you apply for that actual position? Like, because I know you said it was for ESPN Radio, but
yeah, so it was a production assistant with ESPN Radio. Applied, interviewed, got like 3 interviews in, get the call. They're like, yeah, you didn't get it. We'll give you another call back, maybe. I was like, all right, I'm never going to hear from them again. And then it wasn't for like another 3 months. I mean, the grind it took to get a job post-grad, it took me 8 months. I probably applied at like 250, 300 places, man. I was calling radio stations. I was like really grinding to get that first job. But yeah, man, I took the opportunity I had and ran with it.
Yeah, no, man. And like you said, you knocked it out the park too. Because what I noticed about whenever you do come on air on the MMA hour, I'm like, man, this guy could pretty much have his own show. Got the voice for it, you know, like everything like that. Now when you talk about radio, it all makes sense to me. Okay, it wasn't me just connecting dots and saying, man, I think he's good at this and stuff like that. But yeah, so now it all makes sense a little bit more on that. So over there being at ESPN, man. So who is like some of the most famous fighters that you met? That was one of the questions that I got out there in the chat from my man Billy Brisbane.
Yeah, man. As far as fighters, so I actually didn't even work in the MMA space when I was at ESPN. The only fighter that I ever saw there, ironically enough, was Ben Askren. And he was there for SportsCenter or some studio. And this was actually after he got KO'd by Jorge Masvidal with the knee. So like I saw him and I was like, damn, like that's rough to be that man right now. So yeah, as far as fighters, Askren's the only one that I ever saw.
Okay. All right. So what was you doing at ESPN for the last 3 years before you got with Ariel? Actually, like your day to day, because I know you said it was long hours and stuff like that. And I see the people that's always doing the broadcasting and working on radio. People don't understand. it can be a 10 to 12 to 14 hour probably day, just behind everything, trying to get everything done just for that production and stuff like that, working on stuff. So what was you actually doing day by day?
Yeah, man. So I was working in production on the daily basis. So essentially, what that is you get assigned to a show. You're going to get a group of hosts that you're going to work with, and then from there, you're essentially planning out the show, segments, topic ideas. You're booking guests, doing everything like that. Working directly with the host, pretty much to create a 2, 3, 4. Sometimes I worked on 5, 6 hour radio shows. So that was pretty much the day to day. But the tough thing was, the day to day was just like, it was all over the place, man. They were just plugging holes, putting you in different places. They're always asking for OT. There were some times when I would work 10, 15, 20 straight days, a lot of overnight shifts. You get your feet wet by doing this show called Sports Center All Night, which actually goes from 1A to 6A. That was just like, you talk about paying your dues. Sports Center All Night is how you pay your dues. That's for sure.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. For all the people out there listening, man, I want to get started. He's dropping some jewels. He's dropping some hints too, man. So you trying to get an intern or something, man? That's what you might need to do, man. Hey, quick question. Why do they call you GC?
Georgia Connor. I'm from Georgia.
Got it. Okay. Got it.
It's not that creative.
Got it. All right, so we got a few people in the chat giving some love and everything. Your boy Shay Handicap says, tell Connor he got suspended. He got me suspended from 2 of my VIP accounts because he posted his tickets on there and stuff like that. So
I remember Shay, he hit a crazy ticket for like tens of thousands of dollars when he won.
Mike Jackson. He had Mike Jackson.
Yes,
Mike
bro.
Jackson.
What an insane play. That was so crazy, man.
And he had him in like 2 different parlays, and he had him with Cyborg. So he took him, with like a big old -1,000 favorite and stuff, to where it was just easy money on there. I think it was like $70,000 dollars for one, and I think he ended up because I interviewed him. It was over $600,000 that he won that week just off of betting on MMA. And the craziest thing, I just kept asking him, but Mike Jackson though,
Mike Jackson,
bro.
And here's the crazy part about that: the parlay with Cyborg, he takes Mike Jackson, and that was like the curtain jerker first fight of the UFC card that happened at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and then Cyborg for the Hawaii fights was the main event. So he had like 8-9 hours to wait in between Mike Jackson and Cyborg, and he just had to sit on that. And like, obviously, Cyborg, she's as close of a lock as you can possibly get, but it's MMA, man. People slip on banana peels, break their legs, do whatever, man. So like, having to sit on that for so long must have been so nerve-wracking,
man. And this is another thing too about it. Like, all right, so now watch this. Follow me with this narrative a little bit.
Yeah, brother.
Mike Jackson, okay. The guy that he fought, I think it was Blake Perry, Perry, right?
Oh no, Dean Barry.
Dean Barry, right?
Yeah.
There you go, Dean Barry is not in the UFC no more after debuting and losing on a DQ. What I don't know, man. If I don't see like Etch-a-Sketch and don't see sketch, that's hella sketch or sus, like the kids like to say, man. Like, how does the fighter get cut after making his debut off a DQ, and he was the biggest favorite on the card, and he did it twice?
Bro, I mean, the IQ from Dean Barry in that fight was very low. It was concerning to earn that DQ. He also looked pretty good against Mike Jackson. And now because he got a win, they owe Mike Jackson more fights. So
one more fight.
I think they should have just re-racked Dean Barry, Mike Jackson, and hope that there was no DQ the next time and we got the rightful winner.
Yeah. I mean, crazy, man. Crazy. So let's talk about your sports betting and stuff like that, man. How long you been sports betting? If you were to ask me, I'll probably say you probably started in like 2014, 2015, something around there. How long you been sports betting?
I'm like right there with you, man. Close to a decade, like 2013, 2014 is when I first started.
Got it. Now, do you remember the first MMA fight that you bet on?
Oh my gosh. No, I saw that I thought you said, so I saw you like sent over a question or two, and one of them was the first bet I made. Man, I can't even remember. It's been
Mhm.
so long. All I know is that, it wasn't like I took the sentimental trip to Vegas and I got to, hold that first ticket and was like, this is my first sports bet. Nah, it was on some sketchy online book. And, I'm sure it was like a 9-leg parlay. And I put like $1 to win like 150 on it. And like, it didn't even come close to cashing. Like, it took a few years before I started betting a little bit more intelligently.
Got it. That makes sense. That makes sense. And when you started betting, what was some of the sports that you started betting in? Because me, I remember when I started betting UFC, um, I didn't really know how to bet single bets because I was like, wait, why am I gonna spend like $50 to win $25 and it's minus 140? So I didn't understand that. So what I would do is I would just parlay like 3 fighters, like a minus 220, another fighter that I liked and another fighter that I liked. So that's how I kind of got into betting, was like but like 3 fighter parlays actually. What about you when it comes to that?
Yeah, man. So I started with football, basketball, like baseball, the typical sports that are offered. And then I started realizing how many sports are actually offered. I got into the point where it was, boxing. And I remember one of the first fights that I bet on was the McGregor Aldo fight. And I wish I could tell you like a story that I took like McGregor round one and I'd like dropped 500 on it or something. I'm pretty sure I put like 25 on McGregor money line at like minus 110 or minus 115, whatever it was. But I definitely went crazy. And once you're able to bet on the fights, in my opinion, bro, like I feel like it sparks like a little bit more love, a little bit more interest in the sport that may have not been there before.
Yeah, I definitely agree because then you start to like fighters. I agree hundred
Yeah,
percent.
bro.
Because
I
then you
get I
start.
get emotionally invested into some of these fighters. Like I love like especially like a guy like Kai Kara France. I backed him as a dog the last 2 fights. He cashed out both times, and it's just like I got nothing but love for this guy.
Yep. And also too is like not just that, you find yourself liking fighters that you usually wouldn't like watching. Like me, I bet a lot of wrestlers and grapplers because I know what they're gonna do with their game
Yes.
plan.
Oh yeah.
But when I'm watching UFC back in the day, I'll be like, oh no, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch the guy just holding him down. So now it's like it's a whole
Yes.
different thing. I got favorite fighters I love to watch. But then I got favorite guys I just love to bet to where I'm like, oh, this is totally opposite. Give me Marco Madsen at any time, any
Yes,
day.
bro.
Give me Marab Divashili, at any time,
Yes.
any day, and stuff like that. But when it comes to watching them and stuff, it's a different story and stuff. So I agree, man. You actually do become fans of actually more fighters
Yeah, I mean,
and
bro,
betting them.
to your point, bro, like I remember before I started betting on fighting, like when they would get takedowns and everything and just like sit there, I'd be like, this is so boring, man. Like, why is this happening? Now I'm with you, bro. A Murad Dvalishvili fight starting. As soon as that thing fires up, I'm like, take him down, get him to the ground, bro. Like, yeah. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah. Oh man. So some people too, they make a career hunting over underdogs and stuff like that. Then you got some people that just, want wins. Me, I'll be honest, I'm obsessed with wins. I just want the win. I don't really care about it, the price tag too much unless it's like really going above my price tag that I know I can't afford to lose. But I just really want the win. Sometimes I get caught up with the people that say, well, I was on the right side because I had the right value. But yet, the guy got smoked in that third round. But up until then, it was debatable. It was close. It was 1-1. But then their guy gets smoked in the third round and they say, well, I was on the right side. So it's okay that I lost. Well, I mean, it's really not, you still lost. Like, I'll just be honest, man. Like, so sometimes, people say, well, you only pick favorites. Well, sometimes if that's how it goes, that's just how I see it. A lot of times I'll look at it like when it comes to picking a fighter, just pick the fighter that you think's gonna win. Pick your guys, the people in your gut. Don't get caught up with if he does this. Well, if he goes for the takedowns, then he's gonna do this. If he gets tired, he should be able to. All that, I did that for a minute. I got caught up with it, and I went against my people that I would bet, and I lost. So now I got this philosophy: bet your people and back your guys, man. How do you feel about that one?
I am actually 1000% with you on this one, man. I see it a lot on like the MMA Twitter space. Like it's almost like people are pressured into like forcing dog plays. Um, which also, look, bro, there is nothing better than cashing a dog. Like it is a fantastic feeling when you get a dog right. And I also will agree that dogs probably win more often than MMA than most sports, and they win all the time. So I'm not going to argue if you're just going to be hammering dogs. I mean, look at our guy Clint. But I'm with you, man. Whether it's a dog, whether it's a favorite, whatever it is, if I think this guy is going to win and it's at a playable price, I will play him because I am with you. I'm about the wins. I am about my bankroll getting bigger and finding success in the betting space. So,
Yeah.
yes, dude, I couldn't agree more with you.
Got it, man. Hey, man, it's crazy, man. We might even be related, man, with all this stuff we got in common.
I mean,
over here,
bro.
man.
So like last week, I didn't play a single dog. I finished up 7 units. UFC London, I finished up like 6.5 units, and I played almost exclusively underdogs on that card. So it's just like it's a week to week thing, man. You just got to see what the card is like and just go with that.
Yeah, I feel it. No, it's 100%, you know, because like I said, like I'll look at underdogs and then I don't look at them because they're an underdog. I'll look at them because I'm like, oh, no, I actually like this guy and I think he should win. Oh, it just so happens he's a plus 125. Cool.
Let's play it.
Yeah, let's go. You know, let's go. Let's run it. You know, like this is the thing. I haven't found myself too much obsessed seeing somebody at like a plus 220 and telling myself, no, they got this one wrong. This is it. Like I have to put 2 units. No, I think they got that shit right. You know, like
yeah, I mean it's the old saying, bro. There's value in winning. There's no value in losing. Just give me winners.
They just give me winners, man. Hey, speaking of this, so we got a lot of slang terms out there for gamblers and stuff. I heard you enlighten your boy Ariel too on the show. You know, he was actually asking, "What's a capper?" You know, what's a tout and stuff like that. You know, like if you could create one word, because that's what we try to do here on Cap with the Capper. If you could create one word, like in this gambling terminology, like what would it be, or like what word would you want to cut out? Because to me, the word hedge, I mean, I really don't like hedge. We could have came up with something better, man. So if you could think of like one word that you would have want to come up with or something like that, or to cut out the gambling slang terminology, what would it be?
Wow, this is tough. This is a tough question, man. I actually don't know why they call it hedging. Now that I think about it, I went back and looked up why they call it chalk. And it was like back in the betting days, like they used to update the odds on chalk. And so like if someone was getting a ton of money on them, they would put the chalk. That's why they call it.
And it makes sense because you got to write a lot, you know, for it. So
Exactly.
it's like, oh, get that chalk away. Okay.
Yeah. So hedging, I don't get as much. If I had to put one word, man, I don't know what I'd go with. I wish I always call parlays. I just call them lays for short. I wish that would catch on more. I don't hear that many people saying that. But
that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to create terminologies that catch on. So hey,
as far as new words though, I don't know, man. I can't think of one.
Got it. Hey, we're running with that right now.
If you had one word, what is it? What are you trying to get in the vernacular?
All right. So I would just say, like, when it's all good, I would just say it's all cake. Because cake is great, right?
Yeah,
like everybody loves cake. Everybody loves cake. When you say the word cake, what do you naturally smile because you think about a birthday, you think about vanilla, strawberry, something, right? So for me, when you cash it or something, you know, I'd be like, that's all cake right there.
Yeah. I mean, there's everything connotated with cake is good. So yeah, man. Yeah. How was this week? Yeah, it was all cake. I like that, bro.
There we go, man. See, man, I'm actually bringing in my Long Beach slang terminology from rap mixtapes live to the air now. This is something, man. Ooh, mama would have been proud. Let's keep it going, man. So my man Slaughter, man, one of the owners at the fucking owner at Pop Sports Radio always has a question that he likes to ask out there in the chat. Big Show, can you bring it up real quick for him? He says, what's one of your family's tradition or superstitions that the Burks got?
That the Burks got, man. I don't really know about, like, I mean, I guess if you're asking family traditions, like, I mean, there's plenty that I got, but as far as superstition goes, me and my brother, whenever we're betting, like, you can never talk about like a bet cashing before it cashed. Like, it's just like if we're sitting there and like, I don't care how good it looks, whether it's a basketball game and you're up 20 points, whether it's a fight and like dudes got them on the ropes, or like they're looking fantastic going to the judges' scorecards. You can never be like, this is cash. This is easy, man. Like, put it into place, bro. March Madness this year, Baylor, North Carolina. We North Carolina money line plus 190. They're up 25 points. I was at a bar with my friends. Yes, bro. I'm at a bar with my friends, and someone's like, "Damn, we all cashed this one. Nice play on the underdog." And we're just like, "Oh God!" And right then and there, Brady Manek goes out the game. Baylor comes all the way back and ties it up. Luckily, it ends up cashing, but like until I got the money in my account, do not talk about a ticket cashing around me.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way, man. I actually learned that from one of my guys. He put me up on a lot of like college NBA basketball plays like 2-3 years ago, like -7 first half and stuff, our team would be up like -13 with like 4 minutes to go. And I text him like, "Oh yeah, man." And then he won't respond until afterwards. And then he's like, "Don't ever text me during the bet again." He's like, "I never reply to people," and this and that. And a couple of times, we're on that other side, and it's just like, spoke way too soon on that one. So I'm the same way on that one, man. Don't text me until it cashes. Like, I don't care that we're in the third quarter. Just like that Warriors game the other day. They were down big in that. They come back and like, so it's just, it's one of those things, man.
I'm also weirdly superstitious about over-unders in MMA. Like, I almost like when I'm betting an over, I like almost have a hard time watching sometimes because it can just end at like any second. I real life will sometimes find myself like going to the bathroom if it's like a lower level fight and I have the over in it, just to be like, all right, yep, and I'll just walk back. We'll be 5 minutes later into the round and we'll be that much closer to cashing. I just like the overs in MMA. Like they make me want to pull my hair out.
I do the same thing with basketball and sports related. So when I bet my overs, I cannot watch until like the last 2 minutes of the first quarter. Because then I just need to see. And
you got to see how the game's getting going, bro. Because if they're just throwing out duds there, like an over can die like that, bro.
Yes, and I don't want to see that, So I usually wait till it's like 3 minutes left in the first quarter. See, okay, 22-27. All right, we should be good, So I hate watching those first minutes.
Let's see what's good with it. I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Hell yeah, man. Hey, so real quick, when you're over there at the MMA hour with Ariel and stuff like that, and over there, what are some of the things that you guys like to do when the actual camera's not rolling? That's like, like some of the things that you think should actually be on air that's not on air.
Yeah, man. So there's really not a ton. So like when we're going through rehearsals, if we start getting into like a heated debate or like discussion, we'll just be like, "Nope, save it for the air. We'll just get into it on the air." So yeah, there's not really a ton, man. But most of the time, it's just us shooting the shit, chilling. Post show, we'll go do drinks or dinner or whatever like that. So pretty much everything like we're going to be talking about, discussing is going to make its way onto the show. Like we don't really have any rules we have to follow about how explicit we are or anything like that. There's no time limit. I'm the producer, he's the host, so we're pretty much got free reign to talk about whatever we want.
Man, speaking of that, you're the producer, he's the host, man. Yeah, man. Something I like to give credit to. It's kind of like, he's Jay-Z, but everybody don't remember, who's the guy that's making Jay-Z sound like that? That's just Blaze back there making the production with the beats, It's like, you're like the RZA, of the Woo, he's like the ghost face of the crew, It's like he's George Clooney, you're Tarantino, you're the Jay Dilla, he's the Slum Village, man.
You're giving me too much credit, man. You're giving me too much credit, bro.
Nice little connection.
It is a very nice connection to have. I love working on the show. I have so much fun doing it. The whole crew, even like Mysterious Frank, New York Rick, everyone else that pops up on the air, and the people that don't, it's good chemistry. It's a great time, man. And it's just a ton of fun. It's a ton of fun. I appreciate the love, man, but I think you're overstating me a little bit.
I just gotta give a little props when it's due,
I appreciate it.
So some people don't get that spotlight, but so I'll wrap it up, man. I got this thing called rapid questions. I usually ask all the fighters, so I'm gonna do the same thing with the cappers, man. Who are some of your top MMA prediction people that you like to watch?
Oh man, this is a tough one. Go to the guy that kind of got me into it. I would always see his stuff on Twitter is Cody Saftik, CJ Saftik. He does the layered parlays. Yeah, Dogger Pass, Paul Shag with him, Paul Shaughnessy. Those guys are fantastic. Clint, I'll obviously see his stuff out there.
Pub Sports Radio Die Hard.
Okay. Yeah, Pub Sports Radio, shout out to him. And then a lot of the stuff, I'll watch dude MMA Guru. every once in a while. He's not really a predictor, but he'll just run through the card, give his thoughts.
The beanie guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, beanie.
But yeah, man, there's so many good cappers in the space. Your boy shouting us out earlier. I don't know how I'm blanking on his name right now. The wrestler, Liam. Yes, picks? Liam picks fights, bro. Liam fight picks, man. He is fantastic. He is killing the game, bro. Ariel's always trying to put me up on the show, and he's like, you got to be up near the top. I'm like, no, man. There's guys that are way better than me. There are guys that are way better than me out there. But I don't necessarily spend a ton of time watching those just because I do try to make the picks myself. Those are kind of good guidelines to maybe get some ideas, see what they're thinking and why they're thinking it. But yeah, most of the time I'll usually do that after I've made the picks that I want to make.
No, I agree, man. Definitely a couple of those that you named. Those are some of the people that I watch, routinely too as well. Yeah, it's always good, like you said, just to bounce ideas off of. You already have your own bullets and stuff. You just want to see what they're loading up with to see, okay,
no doubt.
we connect on this one or we don't, and then, it's just always good to know. So I one thing that I did notice sometimes, when you listen to them, they can throw you off your own gut, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to stay off that bet. I'm not going to make that bet, but I'm going to just stay off it, So yeah, it's always good to, when you are listening to those prediction people out there, always just go into it with your same mind state too as well.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Especially when they're bringing valid information that can actually get you to back off of a bet for good reason.
Yes, sir, man. So, man, Connor, besides that, man, who's your favorite MMA fighter out there?
Oh, man. This is tough, bro. I got quite a few.
Name a couple.
Yeah, Kaikara France up there. Got nothing but love for that dude. Love Volkanovski. Love Adesanya. Guys that are coming towards the top. I love watching Shavkat. I mean,
I'm a big fan.
The man, bro. Can't wait for his fight against Neil Magny. Obviously, Hamzat as well. I mean, nothing but excitement. I like Terrence McKinney. He always brings excitement into the ring. That's what I'm looking for. It feels like he's just not going to go the distance. I mean, there's too many to name, man. There's so many fantastic fighters out there. Umar Nurmagomedov, love cousin Umar. Shout out to Paul Shag for that name. So there's a ton out there, man.
Who is some of the women fighters that you actually enjoy betting on? Because a lot of people say I don't bet women's fight. Me, I love betting women's fight because to me, I look at it like, the heavy favorites usually win a lot of times. So is there any women fighters out there that you target?
Yeah, man. I guess I didn't even name any women's fighter while I was listing off all my favorite fighters. Manon Fiorot, she just got a fight announced. I love her. I love betting on her too. Hopefully we're going to get her against Chukagian at a playable price because I know Chukagian's great. She's on a nice win streak, but I really think Fiorot is the real deal. Shevchenko, obviously, anytime you're going to get her at anything, most of the times I'll just put her inside the distance. She does have a tough fight against Taylor Santos, though. Marina Rodriguez, huge fan of her. Played her against Mackenzie Dern. Played her against Yan Jiaonan a few months ago. She got the split decision. I liked Rose up until last fight. I still like her as a fighter. I'm a big fan, but she burnt me on that on that heavy money line.
Hurts on that one. Other organizations you like to bet on besides UFC? Me, I like it all, man. I like Bellator. I tend to do like some Bellator media for the fighters, virtual stuff on the Wednesdays before they come out, and I do the same with the PFL fighters too. So I bet on the PFL events. I wish I could bet on One Championships, but I've been watching One Championships now for like 3 years, man.
The amount of times I've tried to bet on Renner to Renner.
Right, because he's gonna, bro. That's automatic in any division, any championship. He's taking every single belt in that, man.
Bro, I've tweeted at Shatri before, and I'm always telling Ariel, I'm like, bro, call your boy Shatri. Let's get some lines on One Championship. My God, bro, like it's a great organization. It's a really exciting organization.
Since they're getting picked up by Prime, I guarantee now they're gonna have probably some betting lines. They gotta have something integrated.
Fingers crossed, man, because I got no shame, man. I will bet on any organization if you put the lines out. I got to bet in on KSW this weekend. Like Bellator, obviously, PFL, I'll hit those as well. But I will admit, because I track all my bets, UFC is far and away my most successful promotion.
Okay. All right. If you could give anybody out there capper or, anybody trying to get into the, MMA content creating side, production side or anything like that, what would be like one rule or one thing you got to tell them?
Grind, just work, man. Just like be as creative as possible. Get whatever you're trying to do, whether it's production, if you're trying to be on air, if you're trying to do a podcast, do whatever, just get as much out there as you can do, man. Like just do as much as you can. Have no shame about getting your stuff out there, because if you're killing it, if you're creative with it, it's gonna stick. People are gonna notice. So yeah, man, just enjoy the process and just grind, bro. That's the key to it all.
That's what's up. That's what's up. One thing that I like that you do on there, man, no unit shame, man. That's
Never
what I'm
unit
talking.
shame, bro.
Never
Nope.
unit shame. Like, so you guys can send in your 50-cent card that turns into $800, your dollar card that turns into, you know, 1,000, whatever it
Bro,
is.
we had a 10-cent one this past weekend, man. I don't get like that is one thing that I don't love about like the betting community. Sometimes they're just so aggressive towards other bettors, man. It's we shouted him out earlier. The man Liam picks fights, man. He's always like good guys versus the bookies. That's what it
Yeah.
should be, man. Like whoever's winning, that's what I love to see. I love to see people winning, bro. I don't care about units. I don't care about whatever, man. Like if you're cashing tickets and you're making the bookies pay, that's what I like to see.
Man, love to hear it, man. Shout out to Liam Picks, man. He does the MMA fight streams with us over at Pop Sports Radio for all the live events too, man. He was a great addition to that too as well. So yeah, like I said, it's good to see a lot of people over at the Pop Sports Radio getting some shine out there. You know, hopefully, you know, they start to pay attention. You know, we've been doing some good things over here, you know, putting out some good interviews, putting out some live streams. When it comes to the live streams, a lot of people do them. But we do them, man. I'm talking about.
I've seen some highlights, bro. It's
Man,
hype. It's hype.
6 to 7 live people in there. My man Boston Nick drinking shoe. He's been trying to challenge Tua Tuivasa for like 2 years now. I mean, we get live donations. I mean, you never know what you see on these UFC live streams. So, man, oh man, just
I see
love
Boston Nick asking right now if I can help, man. I really got no ties to tie, but that would be all the time if you could do it. You got to buy a Shui Vasa as well. I actually got a Shui Vasa. I'm gonna have that ready to go September 3rd, UFC Paris. Next time he fights. Yeah, it's quite the contraption.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Hey, so we're going to wrap this thing up right now, man. We went through everything, man, with my man Connor Burks right now. First time touching down with him and meeting him and everything like that. The producer of MMA Hour, the best MMA show out there, you know, comes out Mondays, Wednesdays, hosted by Ariel Hawani, the GOAT himself. You know, check him out. You know, it's definitely something to watch. And like I said, the chemistry and the energy is great because you can tell when it is. So that's why I always love watching it too, you know. And so it's like you guys aren't scared to push the right button, say the right thing and stuff like that. So love it, man. Love it. I appreciate everything for coming down. I said in the beginning, this shit was only going to be about 15, 20 minutes.
It's
but
the way life goes, man. I'm telling you, once you turn a mic on, bro, you can just talk and talk and talk, bro. But yeah, we ran long, but I really appreciate you having me, man. I had a lot of fun doing this.
Appreciate it, man. I'm gonna just go through some of the chat real quick, man. We got a lot of people giving you some love, man. We got Eddie Rodriguez saying this was dope. You got Fireside saying GC's in the building. Can't wait to see him. We got people shouting out Bankroll Management in there. We got KRLB saying, damn cool seeing GC. My dude making units, so credit to him. Yeah, man. It's all about, you know, it's all about making units, you know, and making money. Because when you're doing that, it's all good. And when you're not, shit, just remember, man, next week you got another chance to bounce back, man.
Bro. Next hot streak is right around the corner, bro. Just like the nice cold streak, though. So you can't ever get too high, can't get too big of a head, man. Profits and positivity, bro. That's all that matters in this game.
Profits and positivity. You heard it here first. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. We gonna keep making these bets to make a profit. Millz, Cap the Capper, and Connor Burks, Pup Sports Radio. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Just like I said, man. Pup Sports Radio, F the rest out. We the best out. Until then, until now, we'll check you guys later, man.